I'm Jenny Malayali. I am delighted to be your virtual host for today. Now, ladies and gentlemen, the roundtable will be made up of 3 sessions. We have an opening session which will be including a keynote address by the Honorable Dr. Amin Liu Abdullah, our Minister in the Prime Minister's Office and Minister of Finance and Economy to Brunei Darussalam, followed by 2 panel discussions, Fintech for an Inclusive and Sustainable ASEAN, and the role of financial literacy in ASEAN's economic prosperity. Now, both sessions do feature senior figures from government and the private sector from all across Southeast Asia and beyond. And of course, being a virtual event, we will need to do things a little differently. So we do have some housekeeping guidelines helpful for us to ensure a lovely, nice, smooth flow for us today. We also want to see plenty of engagement from our audience who join us from all across Southeast Asia and beyond. So housekeeping, for our attendees, we would love to hear from you as well and be part of the conversation. Do post your questions, any comments in the Q&A box. We would also love to hear from you on our social media platforms. Do tag us on Twitter and also Instagram, the handle at ASEANBIS, and use our hashtag ASEANBIS. Now, the bios of all of our speakers and the details of this morning can be found on our website. Once again, that's www.aseanbackbrunei.com.bn. And with that, it's my pleasure to now hand over to Haslina Taib, the CEO, Dynamic Technologies, and chair of this morning's roundtable. Haslina.
Thank you, Jenny. Good morning. Yang berhormat Datuk Sri Setia Haji Abdul Amin Liu Abdullah, Yang Mulia Datuk Sri Paduka Haji Ahmadin bin Haji Abdul Rahman, Your Excellency Nguyen Kim Eun, esteemed Joint Business Council members, senior government officials, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, thank you to each and every one of you for being here with us virtually today. Today marks the first roundtable event in the lead up to the ASEAN Business and Investment Summit, which will take place on the 25th of October. And we're proud to be able to host today's roundtable, albeit online, with all of you. Before we get started, I would like to express my sincere appreciation to our lead partners, Brunei LNG and Bank Islam Brunei Darussalam, as well as our other sponsors, Brunei Shell Petroleum, Baiduri Bank, Standard Chartered Bank, Brunei Gas Carriers, and Mitsubishi Corporation, who have generously helped us to make this event a success. Today roundtable, we'll be looking at how the pandemic has significantly impacted lives and livelihoods across ASEAN, how it has changed the way we work, travel, access payments, use cash, and highlighted also the gaps in financial inclusion. With the new COVID-19 wave we are facing, requiring lockdown and endangering the global economic recovery, traditional financial services are constantly disrupted with the acceleration of technology. Fintech evolution has shifted banking preferences to a more affordable, convenient, easily accessible digital experience. The emergence of these new technologies, the increased demand of expectations, regulatory revisions, availability of digital wallets, and the COVID-19 pandemic has accelerated, as I say, these trends. In the first quarter of 2021, fintech startup raised 22.8 billion. That is 50% more than 2020 alone. Whereas the use of cash has reduced more than 42% in the USA since 2019. COVID-19 shutdowns and lockdowns have 80% of us thinking we can bank without a building. A massive 72% increase in fintech apps use indicates that there are more startups. According to iTech, as of February 2021, there are more than 25,000 fintech startups. That's double the number in 2019, with most of the funding going to sectors like mobile wallets, payments, insurance, and digital banking. Outside of apps, fintech has also expanded during COVID-19, such as consumer banking. They partner with fintech companies, increasing their digital banking innovations. Today, we hope the discussion around fintech and financial literacy have a balanced approach on how ASEAN must embrace the new world we now live in, and how important it is to be inclusive in its ease of onboarding for all levels of financial literacy. The increase of digital banks attract certain niche market segments, such as teens, nomads, freelancers. These typically are underserved by traditional banks. Neobanks operate purely digital without physical branches to maintain. In addition to consumer apps like Venmo, companies such as Stripes and Square perhaps are popular in e-commerce and mobile payments, where payments processes are easy for startup and MSMEs. They too begin to act like neobanks, with some providing debts and small business loans. The future is digital. It is important for ASEAN to adopt sustainable strategies and priorities to an inclusive new era in financial services. I look forward to the insightful discussions that are about to take place this morning. Thank you once again for joining us today, and I'll hand over the microphone back to Jenny. Thank you.
Haslina, thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, we now hear from Mr. Mubashir H. Kokar, the Managing Director and CEO, Bank Islam Brunei Darussalam, for his special remarks. Now, ladies and gentlemen, BIBD are one of our lead partners and a strong advocate for the development and adoption of both fintech and financial literacy. Mr. Mubashir, welcome. Thank you so much for joining us.
Well, thank you, Jenny. Thank you. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Young Baromat, Dato Siri Satya, Dr. Wang Haji Muhammad Amin Liu bin Abdullah, Minister in the Prime Minister's Office and Minister of Finance and Economy too. Young Mulia Haslina Taib, Chief Executive Officer, Dynamic Technologies, as the Chair of the ASEAN Business and Investment Summit 2021. ASEAN delegates, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, and a very good morning to you all. It gives me a great pleasure to welcome you to the ASEAN Business and Investment Roundtable 2021. We are meeting at a time unlike any other in our lifetimes, with COVID-19 continuing to transform the way we work, live, and do business. The current pandemic has impacted global economic activity, affecting trade and travel, and severely restricting the movement of people and goods. Amidst these challenges, however, we realize that partnership and cooperation is the best way forward as we try and find a way out of this pandemic. The ASEAN Business Advisory Council's theme of Recover, Stronger, Together, Sama Sama, is therefore timely and relevant and closely aligned with the theme of this year's ASEAN Summit. We care, we prepare, we prosper. As a partner in progress, BIBD has always believed in the idea of being stronger together by supporting the government of the Sultan, of His Majesty the Sultan, and Young Deepa Tuan of Brunei Darussalam for a dynamic and sustainable economy. As we explored our vision for the future, BIBD saw an opportunity to align our core values. The Maqasid Sharia has always been in our DNA as an Islamic bank. It speaks to the preservation and promotion of faith, life, the mind, progeny, and wealth. It forms the basis of the framework for which we would move into the future to attain not just the national goals of Brunei Vision 2035, but a wider effort to achieve the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. Earlier this year, we began our earnest efforts towards making the world a better place, guided by the values of Maqasid Sharia. Aligned with the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals and Brunei Vision 2035. Our hope is to lead the way towards a future that is conducive, not just for Brunei Darussalam, but for the wider ASEAN and Asia Pacific region. We also realize that digitization is emerging as a catalyst for sustainable transformation. The youth of this country and this region have taken up the mantle and begun to develop innovative solutions using new technologies such as artificial intelligence, blockchain, robo-advisory, financial technology, and robotic process reengineering. At BIBD, digital has always been the cornerstone of how we do business. Our digital banking ecosystem provides a range of cashless payment methods, many of which have been the first for Brunei. BIBD QuickPay, our QR code-based payment system, for example, has become even more relevant in this current climate, with contactless and cashless payments being preferred in the wake of the pandemic. It was during the peak of the pandemic that we launched our Go campaign to encourage customers to go cashless and to go digital. On the corporate social responsibility, which we take very seriously, we also launched Community for Brunei, a virtual marketplace for micro enterprises who were adversely affected by the pandemic. An easily accessible website, complete with the digital payment gateway and delivery services, are provided to facilitate businesses to continue to function and reach their customers even as COVID-19 restrictions are in place. This was our humble attempt of enabling and empowering MSMEs with the tools that they would need to succeed. Tools alone, however, would not be enough to ensure success. It is said that knowledge is power. And armed with the right tools, we also want to make sure that the importance of financial literacy is well understood. BIBD has started using digital means to promote financial literacy and education agenda, using social media to reach an audience of almost 95,000 followers with interactive content that would appeal to a wider audience. I hope that these initiatives and activities will give you some context on the deep and abiding commitment that BIBD has as partner in progress for the nation. We are humbled and privileged to play a role in supporting Brunei Darussalam in the ASEAN agenda and hope that this forum will be a unique opportunity for both the public and private sectors to come together and identify ways to promote sustainable economic recovery and growth through innovative digital financial solutions. In closing, I wish everyone a very fruitful and productive discussion as we all seek to explore different ways that sustainability and financial literacy will serve to promote common economic prosperity. I am confident that through this forum, we can share our common experiences, promote closer ties, learn from each other, and deepen our relationship even further. Thank you once again, and have a wonderful day. Back to you, Jenny. Thank you.
Mubashir, thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, with that, it's my pleasure to now welcome the Honorable Dato Dr. Amin Liu Abdullah, Minister in the Prime Minister's Office and Minister of Finance and Economy to Brunei Darussalam, for his opening keynote address. Now, the address has been recorded as the Honorable Minister couldn't be with us in real time, but recognizing the importance of the issues, he wanted to still deliver the opening keynote and show his support for the discussions.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Members of the ASEAN Business Advisory Council, Yang Berhormat Dayang Siti Rozai Merianti, Datu Seri Laila Jasa Haji Abdul Rahman, 2021 ASEAN BAG Chair and Chair of Brunei Legacy Project. Yang Mulia Dayang Haslina Haji Muhammad Taib, Chair of ABIS 2021, and Yang Mulia Haji Musa Haji Adinin, Chair of ABA 2021. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you for the invitation to deliver the opening keynote address at this ASEAN Roundtable on Fintech and Financial Literacy. I'm delighted to see senior government officials and business figures taking part in the program today from across Southeast Asia, and grateful for your support in contributing to Brunei's effort as chair of ASEAN. The roundtable comes at an important time for ASEAN. Many of us had by now thought the COVID-19 pandemic would be very much behind us, and we would be living our lives as we used to, moving around in public, eating in restaurants, traveling, and spending time with our loved ones. Instead, many of us in ASEAN, Brunei included, are also still grappling with the spread and impact of the pandemic on our lives and livelihoods, and forced to be innovative, nimble, and responsive to this environment that has been thrust upon us. Brunei's theme for our chairmanship for ASEAN this year is We Care, We Prepare, We Prosper. It is designed to demonstrate an inclusive response in dealing with the pandemic, a response that will help ASEAN get back on our feet again and thrive in a new normal. As chair of ASEAN, we have developed 13 priority economic deliverables that have been guided by the strategic thrust of recovery, digitalization, and sustainability. I'm delighted to see that the program for today's roundtable reflects both the strategic thrust and a number of our priority economic deliverables. The discussion today will contribute towards our work on e-commerce, cybersecurity, the ASEAN Framework Agreement on Services that focuses on financial services liberalization, and specifically on financial literacy, where we have a summit planned at the end of the year in conjunction with ASEAN Savings Day 2021. Despite the crisis, ASEAN is one of the fastest growing regions in the world and continues to offer long-term great potential. ASEAN is also one of the fastest growing digital economies in the world. Banks and Companies E-Economy Southeast Asia report notes that the COVID-19 pandemic has led to big shifts across Southeast Asia, highlighting that 40 million people came online for the first time last year, bringing the total number of internet users in the region to 400 million. The Economic Research Institute for ASEAN and East Asia points out that ASEAN consumers are global leaders in terms of e-wallet and digital payment adoption. This offers great opportunities, but also challenges, as we must keep inclusivity in mind and ensure that with the rapid rate of technological advancement, it does not leave anyone behind. Financial literacy plays a crucial role on inclusivity. Not only it is important to understand money and the changing nature of transaction, both for personal and business purposes, but digital financial literacy has become essential if we are to achieve our goals of ensuring that everyone can benefit from the advancements in fintech. ASEAN governments are continuing to meet virtually to discuss what steps can be taken to help our region continue to be vibrant as we draw closer to the summit in October. I look forward to hearing the outcomes of the discussion and including them in our discussions with our ministerial colleagues in the coming months. To conclude, I thank you once again for the opportunity to deliver the opening keynote address at this ASEAN Roundtable on Fintech and Financial Literacy, and I look forward to hearing the outcomes of the discussions to follow. Sekian, wabillahi taufiq wa hidayah, wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Honourable Minister, thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, we're about to transition and bring all of our speakers onto our virtual stage, but we do now have a short video from our lead partner, BIBD.
We envision a future where the days could be crafted for those in our ecosystem. Technology programs us to be linear. It can equip us better to weave through life seamlessly. We are evolving as a nation, and so with the tools that serve us, propelling our days and preparing us to be ahead of time. Reaching for sustainable ingredients with ease may become a standard in commerce and our daily lives. Supporting and growing the local industries in hopes that it may flourish in the rest of the world. Opportunities to cultivate paths that were once hidden, now crystal clear, closer than ever. Technological achievements that are centered around humans to elevate us and innovate for a sustainable future. Our journeys have led us this far, and the next frontier is tomorrow. As you progress in the world of financial technology, BIBD is your partner.